Hello, today I am going to make coasters using one of the papers from last catalog that ended in April of 2019. So this is Dorothy Smith, your close to my heart independent consultant. And I thought, I need to do stuff with the papers that I have left over. I hate having papers left over, because then you have to store them and I don't know about you, but are you running out of space where to store your scrapbook supplies? Oi. Okay, so anyway, I started off going to Home Depot and getting some of these white tiles. They're a big 8 cents a piece. If you go to Lowe's, they're twice as much. They're 16 cents a piece at Lowe's. Even so, cheap. I got some new Mod Podge at Michael's because my first set of coasters that I'll show you later on was with some really old Mod Podge, almost as old as me, and it was just too thick, almost like me, not even almost. So, shut up, Dorothy. So anyway, what I'm going to do first is put the Mod Podge on the tile. And the back of the tile these are just ceramic tiles. And so I actually found some 4x4 cut cork at Joann's, 4 pieces for like $2.50 or $2.25. I mean, just super cheap, but it was a discontinued item and they're not going to carry them anymore. You can find 4x4 caulk with adhesive at Amazon, on Amazon. So what I'm doing, I've got a sponge applicator here, as you can see, and I'm trying to get an even coating all the way out to the edges of the Mod Podge. And then I'm going to Tombow, which I don't know that this is really a good idea, but I'm Tombowing my little butterfly, which comes from Picture My Life card, a Feels Like Home Picture My Life card. And then I'm going to put the Tombow all the way around the edges to try to keep the edges from buckling up with the Mod Podge, which I have to tell you they do. So I don't know that the Tombow is going to be strong enough to keep the Mod Podge from doing the, wet curl on the paper. But anyway, I'm taking my Mod Podge and I'm also putting a coat on the bottom of the paper all the way out to the edges. So I've got Mod Podge now on 2 surfaces that are going to meet and kiss and hopefully stay there. So anyway, I'm just trying to smooth out any wrinkles or any lumps of Mod Podge that are in there. And then instead of leaving them face up like I did on my first batch of coasters, I'm putting them face down so there's the little bit of constant weight down on the paper. And so I'm going to continue to Mod Podge my very expensive tiles. It would be nice if there was some black tiles, but I could not find them in anything, these 4x4s or 4 1/4 by 4 1/4, actually, in anything but white. But I was getting antsy in the aisles. And so, adult attention deficit here. So that flower with the rim around it is also a Picture My Life card. And the little frame going around it is from one of our die cuts that makes stitched squares of paper and frames. So it's a really cool thin cut that we have now. And it's in the present catalog, which is May 2019. And that will go until August of 2019. So as long as supplies last, ladies, close to my heart has been buying things so that there aren't any supplies lasting. So things run out. That's a forewarning here. Anyway, so there's my second coaster. And I think this feels like home paper. It's really such a pretty little paper. Note the glue on my new manicure. And I didn't really mean to pick out that dark brown manicure. It's kind of like Java color or something. But the girl told me to not help her do the manicure, so I said, okay, I'm going to look away. Next time I looked down, it was like, oh my God, that's not the color I picked. Anyway, so my nails are a little startling to me. Old timer that I am. I'm used to the pinks and the reds. Anyway, and oranges. I do like the orange. Okay, so I'm going to, this is another Picture My Life card. Our Picture My Life cards are really great, and they can be used for cards, for making cards. They can be used for making titles or little elements of interest on your scrapbooking pages, or they can be used for coasters. So these are well, they're either 3x4 or 4x6 size Picture My Life cards. And I just cut them down to be square. I got some extra Tombow, and I'm using my Tombow remover, my adhesive remover to get it off the front, because I think that probably would show up somehow. So anyway, I'm putting a coating of the Mod Podge on another tile and also on the back of the paper, and really trying to make sure to go all the way out to the edges and to try to get it, you know, somewhat smooth. But then, you know, you're going to smooth it out and the extra ick is going to, or oozes. See, that's a pretty good, well, no, there's always a little bit missing, right? Okay, so there it is. Now it's going on the front there, and hopefully it'll hold in place. So it's always good to, as they're drying, to kind of check them and try to squeeze any bubbles out from moving from the center out to the edges. So it's kind of like burping. You're burping the baby. You know, you're moving that bubble from the tummy up because you don't want it to get any lower. You know, then you have a problem. Then you have babies that are crying because they got pains in their tummies. Okay, this is another Picture My Life card. I really like this one. This one was kind of a watercolor wash in pink, and it has a really nice saying on it. So it's what I love most about my home is who I share it with. I mean, isn't that nice? I wish it was true all the time. Sometimes people in your own house really annoy you. But, you know, then it gets better usually. So anyway, we're going to keep on the upside here and just say, if you wanted to share your home with them, they have to have some good parts about them. And you know what? When it comes right down to it, oh my goodness, can I be difficult to live with? Sometimes I'm not a happy person, especially at night. I'm a morning person, not a night person. And so I'm really crabby at night. Sorry, Jim, can't help it. Kind of always been that way. So, anywho, here we go, putting on, I'm getting glue all over everything. So I pull out my little scrap pages and then I get glue all over it. The Mod Podge is kind of messy. The good thing is my brown craft layout there is you just wipe it off with a damp paper towel and everything just comes right off of it. So it's a great background that we carry in the Close to My Heart catalog in the tools section. Anyway, it's helps with these super messy type things. I'm putting cork on the back here. So this is the cork that I got at Joann's. And as you can see, there's 4 pieces in here. And they're rounded at the edges. They're very nicely cut. And so I'm just going to Mod Podge those onto the back. Very simple. So it's Darris, I guess is the name of the cork, the company. Anyway, whoever has 4x4 caulk, there's a bunch of them out there on Amazon if your Joann's ran out. And by the way, it was back with the frames. I've had a hard time finding it. But at least at my Joann's. I don't know if they're all set up the same way. So there's the cork. And the reason why I used cork over felt is because if you get, some stuff on the, if somebody, spills or has, some drink residue and you need to wash the coaster off, then, you've got, it's really easy to wash, and it won't have to dry upside down if you've got, like you would with felt. So there's other things you could put on the back of your coasters too. So I let long periods of time go in between putting a second layer of Mod Podge on. So once I got all the cork in place, then I started putting, as the Mod Podge dried, and I would check the corners, the edges of the paper. Then I started putting another layer of Mod Podge on. And so I've put on 3 to 4 layers, excuse me, of the Mod Podge. And, I kind of figure that this is going to seal, any kind of little imperfections. It's going to seal them away. And so, they're not going to be real obvious. For those of you who are perfectionists, this might drive you nuts. I was kind of hoping that the fresh Mod Podge would kind of smooth out a little bit better. But I think you just get brush strokes with it. So I don't know what to tell you. And the other thing I'm using is, this is a satin finish Mod Podge. You can get high gloss or a matte even. And the high gloss might be a nice look to the coasters, actually. The coasters on the right-hand side there, those are the first set of coasters I did. And I thought, well, they're not so bad. I will go ahead and give them several coats of Mod Podge. And, I like the papers so much that I think they make kind of pretty coasters. And, it's kind of nice that they're not the same also. You could make all matching coasters if you wanted to. I just decided to make them all kind of different looking, and then I could use, a lot more of the elements that were pretty onto themselves, but I wasn't using them for a page or a card. So anyway, that's what I just kind of decided to do. And I did have another 2 Picture My Life cards of this Love Blooms, which I really like. I just really like that one. And that one's like perfect for a coaster with the circular pattern on it. So anyway, I'm kind of happy. I'm going to do this again. I'll probably put another layer on. And as far as the, putting the, I don't think I showed all the cork going on, but that's okay. It's pretty easy to put them on the back, and I think I kind of like the way they came out. I will definitely be doing a project like this again with my new papers as they come in. And, I'll either sell them at a garage sale or give them as a gift or something like that. So this is always kind of a, actually this would be a really good Pekino gift. Oh my gosh. Oh, what a good idea I just had. We always have to get a $10 Pekino gift when we, meet once a month in the neighborhood. That would be perfect. Woohoo! Okay, thanks a lot. Hope you enjoyed it. Take care. Bye-bye.